Alright guys, in this video what I wanted to show you is what FARO SCENE 2023.1, which is the current version now in end of April 2024, does with targets. Target-based registration is not necessarily its forte. It's got some bugs, and I want to show you how to actually fix this bug because it is something that's a little bit frustrating. Hopefully it'll be addressed in the next release, but that's how to circumvent this thing right now. So I currently have a couple of scans here. These scans have targets inside them. They have been reviewed, and I've looked at them, and everything looks okay as far as them having been identified and doing stuff. So I mean, there's parallax in my pictures just because I was using an external camera on there. But needless to say, the targets are fine. Now, when you go into registration and you do the automatic registration here, and you do top view based, you might let's try it first this way, default settings, right? So we'll do target based registration, and we will go register and verify. It'll be pretty quick. You get a verify registration message, which you do. Everything looks like it actually kind of checks out if I do from a 3D perspective. And we go down to the actual targets. They all look great. They don't seem to be, doubled up or anything. We have actual targets everywhere. Maybe I don't need to do the transparency. There we go. So there's targets here. All look okay. We have more targets in the back here. Hold on, I went a little bit too far. Come on. So from a visual perspective, everything's okay. From a statistic perspective, though, we are horrible. Nothing's working. So you'd be tempted to say no, and you'd be tinkering around with this thing, and there's really no reason for you to do this. So what you need to do is you need to hit finish, say yes. Unfortunately, it's going to irk you because you will get a red scan manager, and the scan manager will still have horrible values in it, right? So from a perspective of accuracy, this is a no-go. Actually, it is. So how you fix this is you actually close the project. Let me hit this, close it, we'll save it. Do you want to save changes? We'll say yes. Registered horribly. That would be what I would mention to myself if I was to actually reopen this project. Close FARO SCENE 2023.1. And this requires you to have a version of not 2023.1 loaded next to it. So I'm opening up FARO SCENE 2023.0.1, which is the previous version to this thing. And notice, it's going to warn me that there's a newer version. I'll ignore it, yes. We will now open it back up. Same project. Notice, really horrible values right now. Absolutely horrendous values. Okay. Registration, re-register this. It's gonna say it's already been registered, you want to continue, we'll say yes. Target based is still correct. Don't change any of these values. Click. Same results, same looking awesomeness, hopefully, in your actual scans, but your report is what you want to see. So we'll hit finish. Return to registration dashboard, yes please, and let's save this. So just looking at the scan manager, you'll see that this will be much better. We'll save it, we'll say registered properly in 2023.0.1. Okay, so now I'll close the project. I'll close Scene. And if you want to proceed in the new version of Scene, which I'm about to do, you'll see that now the registration is going to be actually correct. So it's unfortunately that you have to have two versions of the software to use the on-site, the target-based registration. This doesn't happen all the time. I haven't figured out exactly when it happens, but right now, look, in 2023.1, I have really good values. The thing is, you don't want to redo your registration here, because if you do again, you bypass what's there and you start registering and hit the OK button, you will break it again. So I'll do this, and everything's okay, we'll say registry registration, and your report's gonna be horrible again. So just don't rerun the registration. Run the target-based registration in the old software, and then maybe if you need it here, just lock the scan manager and rerun maybe target less registration with this cluster, which will be okay. So needless to say, this is just a bad representation, or it's there's a bug in the software that outputs wrong values for your registration. All right. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below.